Zorro was an absolute master of getting his leather stretched all across colonial California. But the craziest part is, his success had nothing to do with his sword or his mask. It came from never, ever giving a direct answer. Today you're getting the 5-step method that Zorro used to become the most desired man in the territory, turning fleeting moments into absolute obsession. First up is a move I call the noble trespass. This is where you intentionally and gracefully break a minor social or physical barrier. The function is to instantly vaporize the formal distance between you and a woman, creating a bubble of intimacy that only includes the two of you. You're signaling that the normal rules don't apply when you're around. Get this. Elena is standing on her balcony, forced to watch some boring military parade. She is dying of social obligation. The soldiers are marching, the politicians are waving. Zorro doesn't call to her from the shadows. He doesn't wait for an invitation. He lands, silent as smoke, on the railing right beside her, not 10 feet away, right beside her. So close she could feel the chill of the night air coming off his cloak. He completely ignores the entire spectacle below. He looks past it all, points to a single distant star, and his voice is low, just for her. "That one," he says. "That one is the only thing out here worth watching." In one move, he's broken the barrier of her personal space and the social barrier that says she's supposed to care about the nonsense in the street. Her heart is hammering. She isn't looking at the star, she's looking at him. Checkmate. That night, he wasn't just watching a distant star, he was busy charting a new constellation right on her bedsheets. Next, you need to master the valued interruption. Most guys think the key is getting into a conversation. Wrong. The real power is in how you enter, and, more importantly, how you leave. By controlling the start and the end of the interaction, you frame your presence as a scarce, high-value event. You are not a guest at her party, you are the main event, and the show is on a strict schedule. So picture the governor's ball. It's loud, it's crowded. The arrogant Captain Harrison has Eleanor cornered, puffing out his chest, bragging about his latest military exploits. She's bored to tears. Suddenly the crowd parts. It's Zorro. He doesn't wait for the captain to finish his story. He doesn't even acknowledge him beyond a glance. He walks directly to Elena, takes her by the hand, and says, "My apologies, Captain." The lady deserves a dance with a man who doesn't talk so much. He doesn't wait for a reply. He pulls her onto the floor. The dance is intense, focused, silent. All eyes are on them. But here's the key. The second the music stops, before the applause even registers, before she has a chance to catch her breath and ask a question, he leans in, whispers, "Until we meet again," and melts back into the crowd. He leaves her standing alone in the middle of the floor, heart pounding, completely stunned. He created a moment of pure electricity and then cut the wire. She's now surrounded by 100 other men, and all of them are grayed out. For the rest of that night, she's just replaying that dance, craving the next interruption. He didn't just command the dance floor, he was already making plans to choreograph a far more private 2-person tango. This brings us to the third technique, and it's a killer. It's called the gilded cage compliment. Normal guys compliment a beautiful woman on her beauty. It's boring, and it puts her on a pedestal she's sick of standing on. This technique works by complimenting her on a quality that also confines her. It shows you don't just see the beautiful object, you see the real, complex person trapped inside. Imagine Elena at another one of these formal dinners. Man after man is lining up to tell her how exquisite she looks, how divine her dress is. She's a marble statue, and they're all polishing it with the same rag. She's smiling, but her eyes are screaming. Then her suitor, the supposedly weak and foppish Don Diego, sidles up to her. He's not Zorro now, he's just another aristocrat. But he doesn't say what the others say. He leans in, almost like he's sharing a painful secret, and says with a dramatic sigh, "It must be so exhausting to be the most magnificent thing in the room and have absolutely no one notice the fire in your eyes." Boom. He's the only man in the room who didn't compliment her beauty. He complimented her spirit, her frustration, her cage. He saw the fire she felt. In that moment, she knew he was the only one who could open the door. And believe me, later that night, he wasn't just opening the door, he was going to help her get out of the dress. Now, all of this requires a certain mindset. This next technique is the foundation that makes the others work. It's called the invisible crown. This is about embodying the absolute confidence of your most powerful self, even and especially when no one else knows it exists. It projects an unshakable, deeply intriguing aura of authority that people can feel, even if they can't see the reason for it. Think about it. As Don Diego, Zorro is constantly mocked. Soldiers see him as a joke, a wealthy coward who can't hold a sword. They corner him in an alley. They outnumber him. They try to humiliate him. A big, ugly soldier shoves him hard. What does Diego do? He doesn't cower. He doesn't protest. He simply takes a moment to straighten the lapel of his expensive jacket, looks the soldier dead in the eye with a terrifying calmness, and says softly, "Careful with the suit. It's irreplaceable." There is zero fear in his voice. Zero. Because in his head he knows he could dismantle all three of them in 5 seconds. That absolute certainty, that knowledge of his own power, radiates from him. The soldiers are baffled. They expected fear. They got pure, unexplained authority, and because they can't explain it, they back down. That is the power of the invisible crown. He projects the king, even when he's dressed as the court jester. It's that exact same quiet authority that makes a woman feel a jolt of submission. He didn't need a sword to make those men stand down, and he sure as hell wouldn't need one to make her lie down. Look, all these moves, breaking the rules, vanishing at the right moment, seeing her true self, they all build incredible raw tension. But they are completely worthless without the one final piece that holds it all together. The one move that ensures you are the only thing on her mind, long after you've disappeared into the night. This is the engine under the hood of the entire machine. The final move is the phantom promise. This is the art of creating a powerful, open-ended hunger for a future event. You do it by using ambiguous language that hints at a reunion without ever defining the when or the where. Certainty kills seduction. You have to force her to wonder, to anticipate, to search for you in her every waking moment. Zorro is on the balcony again. The night is over. He has to leave. The moment is charged with electricity. She looks at him, desperate, and asks the one question he cannot answer directly: "When will I see you again?" A normal man would say, "Tomorrow." And in that one word, all the tension would die. He would become predictable. Safe. Zorro doesn't do safe. He turns, halfway into the shadows, and lets a smirk bleed into his voice. "Señorita," he says, "a man like me doesn't live by the calendar." He pauses, letting the tension stretch. "But I promise you this. The next time the moon is full, you will feel me watching." And he's gone. He didn't give her a date. He gave her an obsession. He gave her a feeling to hunt for. Now, every single night, she will look up at the sky and think of him. He has tied his memory to the goddamn moon. He didn't just promise he'd be back. He made an appointment to completely rearrange her inner cosmos. It was never about the sword, the mask, or the fancy horse. It was about creating a puzzle that she became desperate to solve. That is the real mark of a master. So next time you feel the urge to give a straight, simple answer, stop. Give her a reason to wonder instead.